So if you are taking your very first Carnival Cruise and you are about 2 weeks away from that cruise, you need to do your online check-in. Today, I'm going to talk you through it because I don't have a Carnival Cruise until 2027. So I'm going to talk you through the online check-in process. And if you guys don't know who I am, I'm DeAndre. I'm a travel agent. If you need help planning your next cruise, head on over to the link in my bio to get started. All right, so online check-in. If you have made it to your online check-in process, if it's available to you, that means you are 14 days or less from the start of your cruise. Now, during your online check-in process, they're going to ask you for some information. So let me tell you everything that you're going to need for your online check-in process. All right, so these are things that you're going to need for your online check-in process. You are going to need all the guest information. So if it's just you, you're going to need just your information. And if it's you and somebody else, you're going to need your information and their information. The next thing that you're going to need is your proof of citizenship identification, meaning your passport or your birth certificate. Another thing that you may need is a credit or debit card to set up your onboard expenses. Okay, so the next thing they're going to ask is who are you checking in? So they're going to ask, are you going to be checking in yourself or checking in somebody else or other people in your party? Just note, everybody has to do their check-in. If everybody does not do their check-in, it will not be marked as complete. All right, so after that, you're going to confirm all your guest information, make sure that they're correct, and then they're going to ask for your travel documents. This is when you're going to need your birth certificate or your passport, and you'll enter that information in the system. And next thing that they're going to do after that, they're going to ask your travel plans. So basically, if you are taking a flight in or out of the port, that's where you're going to fill that information out. Just so when you debark, they're making sure that you get off at a good time and you're not missing your flight. All right, so next thing you're going to do is set your arrival appointment. If you set your arrival appointment for the earliest time, which is 10 a.m., and you show up at 9:30, they're going to turn you away. So set your arrival appointment for whatever time works for you. And if you arrive early, like if you arrive before 10 a.m., they're going to turn you away. But if you arrive, let's say your arrival appointment is 11:30. If you arrive at 11:15, they're going to put you in the early check-in line. But if you arrive at exactly 11:30, they're going to put you in a normal on-time check-in. Okay, so the next thing that they're going to ask you is to do your onboard spending. So this is where you're going to link your debit or credit card or opt for a cash spending account. So when you do a credit or debit card, they're going to pre-authorize your credit or debit card for $100 on embarkation day. And every time you get close or they think you're going to go over that $100 threshold, they're going to pre-authorize your card for another $100. And my pro tip is to never use a debit card, because if you are spending, you may come off with a lot of charges on your card, on your debit card, and those charges don't fall off for days after your trip. So yeah, always use a credit card or use a onboard cash account. Now next, one of the last two things is they're going to ask for your cruise preferences. So this is where they're going to confirm whether you want early, late, or your time dining. And they're also going to ask for your bed configuration, whether you want separate as two twins or a king bed. So the next thing they're going to ask you is to read the cruise contract. If it is your first cruise, please read that, because there is some very important information that you guys need to know in that cruise contract, especially if you guys end up having to miss a port. And so pretty much after that, you are done. They're going to give you a summary of everything that you just did, just confirming everything. And just know, if you mess up on something or something changes, you can go back and you can edit your online check-in. But that's pretty much everything that you need to know to do your online check-in for your very first Carnival Cruise. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below. But until next time, hope you guys have a good rest of your day and happy travels. Bye.